Hello, IJ76 Ian here. Welcome to another edition of AOR Racing. F1 2019 on the PlayStation 4. This is tier F10, round 4 of the championship, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix from Baku, and this is part of our qualifying lap. Unusual circumstances because it's dry qualifying, but it's going to be a very wet race, so I've changed my settings quite a lot. Increased the ride height, increased the front wing, increased 3 or 4 other things, which means I'm dog slow in qualifying. Ended up qualifying 13th, but about 4.5 seconds or something behind the front guy. But I started 13th and get a good start. I'm actually atrocious in the wet. Not got very much confidence, not very quick at all, so I wasn't expecting much, but actually maybe my settings or just slightly better start generally has helped me, because I'm working my way past some of these guys that are being even more cautious than I normally am, and I've made myself into a points paying position already, up to 9th. Heavy rain expected for the first part of the race, then lighter rain. It might get dry enough for soft or medium or hard tyres towards the end. So coming down to this tight left-hander, Bashful's gone off in the Ferrari, and we've now got a virtual safety car. So we're in 8th, which, considering our position in 13th, is pretty good, and I'm not expecting to survive this race without crashing in some form. Maybe not crashing completely out of the race, but maybe by setting the car up a bit more on the wet, it will just give me a slight edge in terms of my confidence, not in terms of being able to suddenly be one of the quickest guys, I'm sure. So the virtual safety car ended very quickly, about a third of a lap we had it for. So we up to racing speed again. Oh, a little bit of wheel spin there in 4th. You can see a little bit more than the real life drivers, just from the fact that you're higher up obviously on this cam, and also the real F1 drivers don't have a big name tag stuck above their heads. So lap 3, we're in 8th place. We run wide, but there on the outside was one of the Red Bulls. So we're up to 7th. Lap 4 now, through the fast stuff towards the last sector of this race, and we're in 7th. We're getting close to the time where we want to put inters on, and we just touched the white line a bit too much throttle, and badly damaged the left wing. So it's not yellow damage, so in these conditions I'm going to have to pit, but thankfully I make the decision to go to intermediate tyres. And actually it's about the right time, because people are starting to come in for inters anyway. So I lost maybe 5-6 seconds in the spin and returning to the pits carefully. So lap 5, we're on inters. Some guys around us are wet, but I think it was the right move. I think within half a lap of going on to inters, as that Eagle crashes and we go up to 11th, within half a lap of me putting on inters, my engineer was telling me that's what I should be doing anyway. So we're slightly fortuitous that we crashed on the lap that we did. Lap 6, and our friend from China, Salvo Filer, has come out of the pits just in front of us. He's on the inters as well, and we start what is a very long and very enjoyable battle with him in the wet. And I don't know what his setup was, but I felt like maybe my setup was better for the wet than him, as normally we're fairly evenly paced. I think he's slightly quicker than me normally, but I was all over his gearbox for several laps. It already felt like we'd be going for half a race, but this was lap 6, and I was pretty quick towards the end of the lap, very quick at this point. Still trying not to go full throttle and smash it into the wall like the Eagle unfortunately did. We're on overtake, we're on rich mix, no DRS of course, which I think makes a difference in this battle. We're around the outside of him, and who's going to break the earliest? We break evenly, but he's got the inside line, so he's got the position, and we're still 11th. So very next lap, the same thing. He's quick in the first sector. I catch him towards the end of the second sector, and then on this last sector I've got a good chance to get in his slipstream again. A little bit later getting up to his gearbox this time. He goes to the inside line to defend again very sensibly, and again we can't make the move stick. next time round, lap 8. And we look too far away at this point, don't we? But we're actually, again, probably because we're running front wing, I think front wing 6. If he was running a dry setup, I don't know whether he was probably running front wing 2 or 3, maybe, I don't know, I'm guessing. But that could account for the fact we get alongside him, and I was really worried he's going to push me into the pit wall here. But he's a very fair driver and he gives me just enough room, no problem there. And I think that's what I need to do, get down the inside earlier. But I'm not quite getting in that position as early as I need to. Now this was a good chance on lap 9 because we're up alongside him quite early on. But again, he's got the inside lines, so it's not ideal. And I don't really want to brake much later than I'm doing and try and go around the outside because I'm just going to end up in the wall on the outside. Again, he defends well. Lap 10 I wasn't actually quite near enough to make a challenge, but this is the next lap, lap 11. This is not a replay. What am I going to do again? Well, SHAREfactory is going to sensibly do the same thing. There's no way I can go through to the inside line. I'm a bit late in getting to his gearbox on this occasion, and again he holds the position. I thought might be a chance for a switch back, but not quite close enough to make that. So lap 12, here we go again. Take 5, is it, or 6? 5 I think. Rich mix, overtake. I've got loads of fuel left, and this is it. I'm thinking go to the inside, go to the inside, and I didn't for some reason. There might have been a chance to do that. I'm sure he wouldn't have squeezed me too much, and we're slightly ahead into the braking zone. This could be our chance. We brake ever so slightly later than before, give him plenty of room on the inside, but he's right there with us. But I think something's happened to him. I hope he didn't touch us. But we're through. Finally we make the move stick and we're up to 10th. So a lot later in the race. We held 10th, but we are into the pits for dry tyres. Put the softs on for the final 6 laps or so. And I'm nervous about this because I wasn't quick in the dry with this wet setup. Also made 2 mistakes in qualifying. And look, you can see I'm really not liking the way the car is not turning in, but I'm having to back out to let cars overtake me. So let Mr. Robin through, and then I've got my teammate Kelvin, and it's a horrible place to have to let people through, horrible place for them to lap me as well. And in doing so I've lost probably 4 or 5 seconds, which means that SHAREfactory is right on my gearbox. Now the same thing happens here. Again, this is just circumstances. I feel I have to get out of the way here. I've got the blue flags as L3 goes through, but again it just means SHAREfactory is right on our gearbox. You can see lap 24, SHAREfactory is all over me way before the start for this straight, and I tried to defend the inside line. We just touched. I don't think that's anyone's fault particularly. I hope it's certainly wasn't mine. Hopefully not. No blame attached there. No damage, I hope, to SHAREfactory anyway. It's so difficult to overtake in that middle sector, but he had to try something because I was pretty quick in a straight line. Still had a lot of rich fuel mix. ERS had loads of that left as well. But this was the one time really in the early stages of this battle we managed to get close to me. Not close enough to make a move, but he's got a better exit out of turn 1. I go to the inside to block him, try not to make a double move. Actually I outbrake myself and I think he touches me, and he apologised after the race. No need to apologise. I was actually slightly worried that I'd done something a little bit naughty there, but it wasn't deliberate. I just outbraked myself. I wasn't trying to put him in the wall at all. So I managed to hold on to 10th place. Really enjoyed that battle with SHAREfactory, and amazingly in a race affected by rain I don't crash, and happy to come home with my 2nd point of the season only from 4 races. So the winner was Derek, DJL 8, the American driver in the Mercedes. 2nd place was Mr. Robin in the Haas, and 3rd place was my teammate Kelvin, who leads the championship on 66 points. We're sat in 14th out of 18 drivers in the league on a meagre 2 points. Next time up, it's the Spanish Grand Prix from Catalonia.